What's up, everybody? My name is Chris Mohead, a.k.a. Rob Savage, a.k.a. Robbie Raindrop, and we're here again with another episode of 600 Seconds with HYLO Art. But before we get started, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, man, because we got a very special guest in the building, and they go by the name of...
Jason Frederick.
Y'all give it up for Jason Frederick! How you doing today, Mr. Frederick?
I'm good. Glad to be here, man.
It's great to have you here. It's great to have you here, man, but before we even get started, I want you to look at that camera right there and let the people know what it is that you do.
So I'm an entrepreneur. I have two businesses that I've recently opened. One is Refined Entertainment Productions, which is our book productions company that's started by me and my best friend, T.L. Hughes. He's not here. I'm representing for in his stead. And I'm also a licensed professional counselor. And so my business there is called A Path Forward Counseling, LLC, and my whole goal there is just to help people find their path forward. Maybe you feel like you get stuck with depression, anxiety, worries, all that kind of stuff, and I just want to help you get a path forward.
Hell yeah, word, man, word. So we'll start with the author side. You know what I mean? What got you into writing? What type of book is it? What
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
What's the genre? Let me know.
Yeah. Well, just off the cover, you can kind of tell it's like an action, superpower, sci-fi, fantasy type of deal. What got me into writing, really, I mean, just growing up watching X-Men and, Spider-Man, all that kind of stuff, right? But, like, kind of recognizing, like, how much of an outlet, of an escape, like how you can deal with real-world issues by seeing what different characters are going through, even though it's like a fantasy-based world, but they still dealing with real issues. And so with me having kind of like that counselor background, that psychology, like infusing that into my story so that people can see, like you can really connect and relate to the characters, but again, it's still entertaining with the action, superpowers, and just crazy stuff happening too. So yeah,
That's dope, man. I find that very interesting because Stan Lee, I don't know his background like that, but I know that he wrote the characters to relate to real people.
Right.
Like he wants Spider-Man is just a high school kid. You know what I
Right.
mean? The Fantastic Four, that's a family.
Right.
X-Men, they're discriminated against.
exactly.
So I guess I want you to get like specific without giving away any spoilers.
Okay.
What's the premise of this story, of this book?
Okay. The premise of this book, the main character on the front of the cover, his name is Aiden. So Aiden, as you can tell, like he's got these superpowers, but he can't control them, and he doesn't know why. So when the book starts, he's actually in a hospital room with his fiance, who's in a coma because his powers got out of control. So he has to figure out, that starts him kind of on a journey of like self-discovery and like understanding what triggers these powers. Like I said, there's a lot of psychological nuance in there, even some spiritual overtones as well. And again, just his journey to kind of understanding himself, understanding his trauma, understanding his history, and hoping that leads to better outcomes for him. And but he's got some really hard choices to make. So we'll see what he does.
For sure. Echoes of Choice. That's available everywhere, or
yeah, it's available on Amazon. Also on our webpage, which is www.refinedentertain.com.
Okay, make sure y'all check that out. You also mentioned that you're a licensed counselor.
Yes.
What made you want to get into that field?
Yeah, great question. So really it was like, you don't really train to be a counselor. You just kind of are a counselor, meaning like I just was like, always wanted to hear what people had to think, always wanted to hear like how people were processing their feelings, their emotions, their decisions. And like I was just always that person that lended and a listening ear. And so eventually I got to the point where I realized that like I'm already kind of doing the work of a counselor, but I want to know how to do it better. And also, not that I take life lessons from sociopaths, but the Joker in The Dark Knight said, if you're good at something, never do it for free.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, for
so
sure.
like, let me get trained, let me monetize it, let me make a career out of something that I'm passionate about.
Yeah. So you already had those, I guess, leadership qualities or like just great listening qualities within you, man. And like me and you were talking a little bit earlier, and you mentioned how it's not as common to see that in the black community.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I love that, man. Talk a little bit about that, like how we as black men could use that even more.
Absolutely. So I mean, just generations before us was kind of like counseling. That's for rich white people. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that was kind of the stigma, the approach. Like you don't need no counseling. You just need to whatever, right? We don't talk about the hard stuff. We just deal with it. We just let trauma pass down from generation to generation. rather than why don't I break that cycle? Why don't I learn how to deal with things differently? Why don't I learn how to identify and process my emotions and find healthy coping skills rather than turn into the usual violence, anger outbursts, alcoholism or whatever type of vices that we have. You know what I'm saying? It's like, let's find better outlets. And like you said, especially for black men, my experience is that black men are only allowed to have 3 emotions. You can only be glad, sad, or mad. Like,
hey,
anything outside of that is like, oh, you a wimp. You a punk. You soft, right?
Sensitive, yeah.
Man up. Man up means don't have emotions. We're humans.
Yeah.
So I try to get that outlet.
Nah, you're absolutely right, man. Damn. So, as a counselor, like what you mentioned, you have your own organization, your own company.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that, or how can we get in contact with you on that aspect?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, my business is called A Path Forward Counseling LLC. So you can literally Google that, and it'll give you my webpage, and you can kind of go from there. You can book an appointment. I do free 15-minute consultations just to kind of hear a little bit about your story, let you know what my approach is, and how I think we can probably work together to help you accomplish your goals. So,
sure, I'm gonna definitely hit that up. A Path Forward, and I think y'all should too, man. But now we finna get a little ignorant. You drink?
I do.
All right, so we finna get into the game show part of the interview, where I'm gonna ask you 10 questions. We call it the shot seat.
Gotcha.
I'm put you in the hot seat. I'm gonna ask you 10 questions. You got 30 seconds to answer them. If you don't answer them in 30 seconds, then you got to take a shot of some house liquor.
Okay.
If you do answer them quick, I got to take the shot. So answer them quick.
Challenge accepted.
Walmart or Target?
Target.
Chips or popcorn?
Chips.
The fair or the circus?
Fair.
Homer Simpson or Peter Griffin?
Peter Griffin.
PlayStation or Xbox?
Xbox.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Kevin Hart or Dave Chappelle?
That's a good one. Dave Chappelle.
Love and Basketball or Queen and Slim?
Love and Basketball.
Snoop Dogg or Dr. Dre?
Snoop.
Name 2 states that begin with the letter A.
Alabama and Alaska.
2 seconds. Oh, you won by 2 seconds, my guy. Hey, man, I should make you drink just for saying Peter Griffin over Homer Simpson. You know what I mean? But, hey, cheers, y'all. No, he did it. Hey, I knew I was going to lose as soon as he said challenge accepted. I'm not going to lie.
Don't back down.
Right. Hey, so now that I got all liquored up, I'd like to ask, what advice do you have, or better yet, what is your favorite part about your job that you do?
Which one? Now, I speak for both?
Yeah, speak for both. Yeah, give me one for both.
Okay. So my favorite part about being a counselor is, like, people come to counseling 9 times out of 10 when they're in a crisis. And so helping them with their challenges, like giving them tools and strategies, like helping them just kind of get grounded and feel like they are back on their own 2 feet, like seeing the journey of clients who go from a crisis to I'm content with my life, that's rewarding. That's so rewarding. And my favorite part about being an author really is just like the way that I kind of start creating stories is like there's an emotion or a feeling that I'm experiencing that I'm like, how could I convey that in a story? Like, and then I go and build a world and build the superpowers and build like all of that. But it's all an emotional journey that I'm taking my reader on. So like building, creating those relatable characters and telling an interesting story and seeing if I can pull it together is very, very interesting to me.
Hell yeah, man, I love it, man. And not trying to put any words in your mouth, but like for me, because I'm a rapper.
Right.
So for me, it's like I'm looking at it like, okay, you grew up making superhero or watching superhero shows and stuff like that.
Right.
It's almost like you entertaining that inner child a little bit.
That's
in
fair.
A sense, like in a world where you're supposed to just grow up and let all that stuff go.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you still get to go back and create that for the next generation and stuff like that.
Right.
So I think it's dope, man. I think it's beautiful, everything that you're doing, and you know, and keep it up and keep going, man. You got any advice for anybody out there watching?
Number one advice I would give is don't be afraid to be weak. Nobody is like invincible. You know what I mean? Like, don't be afraid to admit your weaknesses. That doesn't mean you're broken, doesn't mean you're defective, it doesn't mean that like you're unacceptable. It just means you're human. So accepting that humanness, and if that means you need help, reach out for help. That's fine. It's okay, you know?
Hey, well, I appreciate you, brother, man. Y'all get up for Jason Frederick. My fault, man. I got you. Great job, man.
Appreciate you.
money, money, make money, don't waste it. Everybody